In this part 4, we'll be looking at a long-term rental property investment. So what is long-term rental property investment? Long-term rental property investment is the process of constructing or purchasing of real estate asset that for the purpose of renting it out to tenants for extended period of time. Period of rent can be 6 months, 1 year, or more. This is different from short let. This strategy focuses on generating consistent rental income and building equity in the property over time. It is one of the best way to generate passive income. So what we are trying to say here, please, for the purpose of this study, our focus is on long-term rental property. Do you understand me? There's another type of rental property which is called short let. It's very popular now, Airbnb and the stuff like that. That is not what we are talking here. We are talking of you getting a house, putting it for rent, managing it, and be collecting rent on long term. This could be residential or commercial property. Is that understood? Yes. So how do you acquire property for long term rental investment? One, you can purchase existing property. You can build the property from the scratch. You can get the property by inheritance. Do you understand me? Yes. But me, why I personally like building the property from the scratch is that you have opportunity to do what? Customization. You build the property to your taste and build it in a very solid state so that as you are collecting rent, your cost of repairs and maintenance will be minimal. But whichever of this option is a means of acquiring what? Real estate asset. You can get house or commercial building for purpose of long-term rental using any of this medium. In developed climes, all you need is a small percentage, and mortgage will help you to access the property. What are the strategies to make money from long-term rental property investment? Long-term rental property investment can be very rewarding if properly set up and well managed. Millions of people have and are still making money from this model. The following are the strategies to adopt to achieve the desired goal. It can vary or be modified depending on your locality. What I'm basically saying here is that the way we practice rent here may not be the same in UK. It may not be the same in what? In USA. But the model is similar. You understand? Because they could have some local regulation that, okay, maybe you cannot put rent at above certain amount. Do you understand me? There could be some local authorities having how you rent your house in other places. Do you understand me? So it's not compulsory that everything must be as I have written it here. But these are basically the strategies you have to adopt if you want to go into long-term rental property investment. So the first thing, you select the right property. Choosing the right property is very, very crucial. Location is key. Consider area with high demand for rent, access to essential amenities like schools, shopping mall, transport facility, recreation, etc. Areas with low crime rate. So what we are trying to say here is that if you are looking at acquiring a property for rent, these are the things renters are after. Do you understand me? People want, especially today with the high cost of energy, people want a place where they can easily take their children to school. I'm telling you, if you have a property that is close to a very good school, I'm not just talking of any kind of school, people will prefer it because it will drastically reduce the cost of what school runs for them. You can imagine having a property like misuse property, what we are doing in Kagini, from your home, you take your children can even go from the house and come back. Do you understand me? So these are what basically what people are looking for. Then recreation. If you go online, you find out that all these things are what? They are the latest trend now on what people are looking for in terms of property. Do you understand me? Misuse is becoming very, very popular, and it's because of things like this. And then recreation. Losing weight is a very big business all over the world now. So people, if they are renting house, they would like to know whether they will have a place where they can go out and recreate or go for shopping and stuff like that. Then tenants acquisition. Your income depends on tenant payment. Select good tenants. Have a model for screening tenants. Engage a specialist to draft agreement that will protect your investment. Request for referees from the previous landlord. Eviction of tenants anywhere in the world is always a Herculean task. We have had the experience, as I told some of you who have been with us in the past. The house, our PW house, it was not easy evicting them. And even in other climes, like I watched one video about renting houses in UK and all that. For you to evict somebody from the house, you have to go to court and you even pay. There is not only one person you will pay. There are a lot of processes. So if your purpose is to build wealth through long-term rental property, the person you admit into the house is very, very crucial. Do you understand me? You need to devise a model on which you will screen the person. Because some people will naturally come to a house, they refuse to pay the rent, and for you to evict them is not easy. Do you understand me? Yes, so, that's why I'm saying you look for a professional who will draft the agreement in such a way that you are protected. Do you understand me? Yes. Years ago, there was a place we rented an office. The way the agreement was structured is that your rent is yearly. Agreement is for you to occupy the place for a year. So you will be the one who will now go to them when the rent is going to expire and say, I want to still continue staying here. And they are at liberty to tell you yes or no. All these things came up because of the way some people handle people's property. You can imagine somebody who say, okay, this is the business I want to do. The person is supposed to pay his or her bill from this kind of business. And somebody will pack into the house and now refuse to pay and refuse to go out. They will prefer to go to court, especially in our own climate here, so that the thing will be, case will keep on adjourning. Somebody have confidently told me they have a property for 10 years. Somebody is living inside the house and the person refused to pay. It took the case to court. This is how they are joining it. So if you have somebody who is thinking of taking this model, please, who you admit into the house is very, very important. Okay, property management. This comes with its own challenges. Major activities are what? Handling maintenance and repairs, collecting rents, addressing tenant issues, local regulation, efficient management is key. If you are not experienced, consider hiring a property manager. I hope we all know what property managers are and what they do. So in some cases, if this is the business you want to do, you don't want to run around to follow your tenants that they should pay you and stuff like that. Property management, I say this comes with its own challenges. Major activities are what? Handling maintenance and repairs, collecting rents, addressing tenant issues, local regulation, efficient management is key. And I said, if you are not experienced, consider hiring a property manager. So there are property managers out there. Their job is to handle all these kind of things. They even help you to screen the tenants. Do you understand me? So if this is the model you want to do, this is the way you want to make your own money through real estate, you can consider using them. They will charge you some fees, but in some cases, the money they will charge you is what the effort they put in place. Do you understand me? Because managing tenants is not easy. Do you understand? So as we said, there are people who are really very, very difficult. For any small thing in the house they are supposed to do, they will start calling you. Even especially in other clients where things are very, very regulated. Do you understand me? So you also need to look at financing options. So consider down payment cost, mortgage payment, maintenance and repair costs, property tax and insurance payments. So if you are going to start this business, these are, you need to look at all the options. These are some of the expenses you will make. I know that in our climate, issues like property tax is not very popular or is not in place, but it is coming because government are now looking for other means to generate what? Revenue. Do you understand me? So don't say I want to go into this business in Nigeria, they are not paying property tax or they are not paying insurance. One day government will come up with it. So these are the considerations you have to make when planning how you can finance the business. Okay, so estimate your expenses and the profits. You know, this thing is just like any other business. For any business you want to do, sometimes there's what they call feasibility studies. You do your market survey. This is where you do the maths. Initial cost, you need to pay down for the house first. Even if you are using mortgage, there are a certain amount of money you have to pay before you can access the house, and they spread the other money for mortgage. Do you understand me? So you consider closing costs, renovations and improvement. It is very, very hard for you to go and buy a house that people have lived in it before without it requiring you to do some work or the other, except the person that want to sell the house to you have done those works by him or herself, in which case the person will still add the cost of those renovations to the amount he or she is selling it to you. Do you understand? So these are the things you need to take into consideration. Then when you have now bought the house, if you bought from mortgage, these are ongoing costs. Do you understand me? You have acquired the house, you have put it for rent. There are still some what? Costs that you have to be incurring. If you bought from mortgage, you'll be paying for the mortgage. You'll be paying property tax, insurance, maintenance costs, management fee if it is applicable. That means if you gave somebody to manage for you. Vacancy allowance. What we are talking here is that take into consideration that the house may be vacant for some time. You know, these things, we are taking time to explain this because somebody could take facility and say this is what you want to do. So you need to consider all this, do your calculation, make sure that what the project or the business is profitable. This is all this you need to do so that you determine whether you should go in or not. Do you understand me? Okay, so okay, optimize rental income. So when you have acquired the house, there are certain things you can do to help you make maximum rent from it. Do you understand me? There are certain things you can put in place so that one, you make your house attractive, and then you can demand for what? More rent. So first, you need to research the market and make adjustments where necessary. If you put the cost of renting your house too high than what is obtainable in the market, the house will be vacant. Do you understand me? So you need to know, any neighborhood you are doing this business, you need to find out what is the average rent here. You try to see how you can fix your own in between so that you will be what? Competitive. It doesn't pay you for, if you, okay, let's say others are taking rent for 2 million, and you put your own for 2.5, and the house is empty for 3 months. What have you done? Do you understand me? So that's what we are saying here. Then offer amenities. You know, you can think of things that you can add to the property that will make it attractive to people. You understand? If it is a property that, okay, you can add a small place as a gym where people can go and exercise, or you can add a laundry, people will just walk out from your house, take the clothes to laundry. You think of certain things you can add to the property so that you will optimize the rental income. So as the business is going, you need to do what? Scale your portfolio. Use the power of leverage. Use existing property as equity to finance acquisition of more properties. Reinvest profit. Use income to buy more properties. Diversify. Have different property types to reduce risk. This gives you an edge in times of economic downturn. Also, diversify the location of your properties. As your business grow, consider investing globally. Do you people understand what we are saying here? Let's say you started the business in Abuja. Eh? Don't remain here. That's what we are trying to say by diversification. You can diversify in terms of the property type. Let's say what you started was what? Commercial building. I'm giving an example. You can look into what? Going to residential. You can look into what? Parks and garden. Do you know that individual build private car parks and collect money from it? Do you people know? Eh? Do we know or we don't know? So these are various, there are various models. Even somebody can build hospital and say, this hospital I built, he design it and build it as a hospital and say, I'm looking for a medical suite that will just come and rent the place. Do you understand? So that is what we mean by diversification. You can also consider, now we are in Abuja here. When we get to the next slide, we see in Lagos there is really very huge demand for houses, more than is in Abuja here. So you can consider, after being here for some time, you try to move to Lagos. So that's what we mean by diversification. And then one good thing about this model, especially in other clients, here anything that has to do with loan is always a challenge and headache for people. But in order like Robert Kiyosaki, I learned that he has 18,000 houses. And what do he do? He buy one property, he use it as equity and buy more. That is how he continued to do what? Accumulate houses. Do you understand? That's what we are saying, that this model can give you opportunity to do things like that here. And we are not saying it's ruled out completely, you can't do that in Nigeria, but you just need to be very, very careful, because if you make mistake, they will collect the whole house and you'll be left with nothing if you are not able to meet up with the loan terms and condition. Do you understand me? Yes. Okay. If you are doing the business, you have what? An exit strategy. So you can hold and collect rent, keep the property for long-term income and appreciation. So this is another good thing about this model. Let's say you have a house now, you can collect 20-30 years rent on the house and still do what? Sell the house at profit. Do you know? There are houses that have stayed 30 years. If it is well built, all the owners need to do is to just renovate it and then put it for sale. One, you will sell the property with profit, because it is not what the cost when you built it, that is not what you will sell it. Do you agree? So the property must have appreciated in value. And then the rent you have already collected is where? In your pocket. So so when people are saying they don't pay rent, the rent is a good model if you practice it well and you put the structures in place to manage it. Do you understand me? So that's what we are saying. Sell for profit when the market have increased for maximum returns. Do you understand me? So after collecting your rent, you can still decide to sell your property, both the capital, the appreciation, everything. You collect the money together. So when you see certain people, you see people in this country, if they are go today you see them in London, tomorrow you see them in Dubai, tomorrow you see them in USA. You'll be wondering, these people, are they not, how do they make their money? Some people have the kind of property they have, whatever they want in life, they are depending on rent. I watched one video of a man who was saying, he was saying one of his mentees have houses in this Abuja. The house were taken by embassies for 15 years and they are paying in dollars. So how will you feel to be this kind of person? So it is possible. So, and this is, so when you see people, some people, people are going to work on Monday morning, they are playing what? They are playing golf. Eh? When you are preparing to go to work, the person is going to golf course to go and exercise him or herself. It is because they have properties that they put for rent. I'm not saying all, but this is one of the means through which people can achieve that level of life. Do you understand me? Especially what our advice guys in Nigeria for now, if you want to go into rental, focus first on commercial properties. You know why? People hardly tell stories on their place of work or place of business. Do you understand me? People, I'm talking of people in this country, they will prefer to pay for where they are working, their office or business premises, before they pay for where they are living. But even residential house, the demand for it, you will see it in the next slide, the demand for it is really very, very huge. And to meet up with the demand is not easy. So there is opportunity in it, whether it's residential or commercial. Okay, so what are the benefits of long-term rental property investment? Consistent passive income, provide steady income that covers expenses and generate profit. Equity to finance other business. You can use your property to obtain loan and finance other project. Property appreciation. Real estate asset tends to appreciate over time, thereby increasing in value. Tax benefits. Investors can deduct expenses associated with owning a property and reduce their tax burden. Wealth building strategy, good vehicle to build enduring wealth and achieve financial security. Good tools to transfer generational wealth. So these are basically some of the things I've discussed. So what we are trying to say here, these are the benefits. You can imagine a house. There was a time I was working in Enugu. I worked in a Amal Greenfield Brewery project. So the house we were staying in that time, the house is more than 40 years. And the house, if you go there today, the house is still strong. There are houses that were built in olden days, 100 years. The house is still very solid and standing. So the people that build the house, they have passed away and they transfer it what to their next generation. So it's also some people, as we say, just the inheritance they got alone from their parents, even if they don't do any work again in their life, they are okay. But we should not do that, please. If you have opportunity to get inheritance, try to do more and leave more to your next generation, more than what you make. Don't just depend on say they left inheritance for me and you won't do anything to increase the wealth. Okay. Risk of long-term rental property investment. I hope we are seeing from all this training we are having. As I said before, there are 2 R to any investment. One is what? Return on investment. That is the reward. The second one is what? Risk. So I have not seen any business model that it is all rosy, that don't have any element of risk attached to it. Do you understand me? So if you go now, if you are, for example, a stock trader, you can You can just sit down on your system, buy stock, sell stock, but the disadvantage is that one day the stock market can crash. You can lose money. So every business, please don't just take it on face value. That is why it is important that you do your due diligence. So what are the risks of long-term rental property investment? Vacancy period. This will result in loss of income. Note that some mandatory payments like tax and insurance does not depend on the property being occupied. So what we are trying to say here is that if you have a property, even here that property tax and insurance are not very popular, you still need to do what? To maintain the house. If the house, do you know that it's more difficult to maintain a vacant house than a house that is occupied? Because if the house is not occupied, that means with time there will be what? Humidity. Nobody is entering the house, open the door and windows to warm it. So with time, the house will be humid. So sometimes if the painting was not well done, it will start the paint will start peeling and stuff like that. Managing problematic tenants, just as we have discussed before, some tenants can give you serious problem. Then maintenance and repair. This could be costly and negatively impact profit. This calls for caution and due diligence while buying property for rental income. Always use professionals. Then market fluctuation. Real estate market can be volatile and property values can decline, though this is not common in Nigeria. I don't think, have any of you had experience whereby a landlord says he's reducing the rent because nobody is renting house? Is there anything like that? So that is not very common in our climate now because of the demand. So this is what I'm telling you. Demand for rental property in Nigeria. The demand for houses both for purchase and rent in Nigeria is high. It's highest in Lagos, followed by Abuja, the nation's capital. The table below from Nigerian property centers shows the trend. So this is what we are trying to say here. If you look at this table, the demand for houses in Lagos especially is around 75.3%, followed by Abuja and other states in this order. This information, this data is from Nigerian Property Center, one of the biggest online property listing platform in Nigeria. So you can see the demand, especially for Lagos. Lagos alone have 70-something%. So that is what we have said before, that if you are doing the business here, you consider to diversify to other states of the federation, and after some time you start thinking globally. So if you come to Lagos, I just picked the 5 top areas and showed how demand for houses vary. Lekki is around 45.2%, Ajah 22.7%, Ikeja 13.7%, Ikoyi 10.4%, and then Victoria Land around 8%. Please, this is based on data from Nigerian Property Center website. Other listing platform can come out with your own data that is not exactly like this. But what I have seen in all the listing platforms is that demand for houses in Lagos is more than any other part of this country. Is that understood? Yes, sir. Partnership opportunity with Demand Group. As a fast-growing real estate development company, we can partner with you as our independent sales executives. Some of our products are premium properties that attract premium clients, benefits, commissions on sale, free access to our marketing and promotion materials, opportunity to participate in our training program for free, free access to latest industrial knowledge, opportunity to win fantastic prizes as best performing sales executive. So to register, you visit our website or call this number displaying on the screen. So this is where we draw the curtain today.